Anyway, speaking of which, and I think that's a good transition. BET Hip Hop Awards, they have put out their nominees for Lyricists of the Year. And I'm going to start right in the middle since y'all just got finished talking about Jay. Jay-Z's nominated. And Jay-Z has one verse, unless you want to count the Pusha T verse. So 2 verses this year, nominated for Lyricist of the Year. Baby Keem, nominated for Lyricist of the Year, has a ghostwriter, by the way. Benny the Butcher, nominated for Lyricist of the Year. Jack Harlow, nominated for Lyricist of the Year. Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and J. Cole. Whole lot to unpack here. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with Jay-Z, because what we're going to do is we're going to start doing some substitutions. We're going to do some substitutions, and we're going to make the real list.
Who did Pusha T piss off?
No, what?
Who did Pusha T piss off? I want to start there, man. Because, you know, when it comes to an industry rollout, like, I don't expect BET to show love to Lupe or, you know, Gibbs or even Conway to a degree. Because that's a little bit too underground for them. But when you talk about mainstream rollouts this year, nobody did that better than Pusha T. Even though I think It's Almost Dry has a lot of defects. But if you want to talk about rolling an album out in a traditional format, this is a slap in the face to Pusha T.
You don't say.
But go ahead. I'm sorry. I wanted to get that tangent out.
No. I'm glad that you did. Do you feel better? Are you okay? Everything all right? You feel better now? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I still got more to say. I'm not even getting to the Jack Harlow stuff yet, but we'll get there.
Well, let's just start one by one and start unpacking it. Since you're actually referencing Pusha T, well, that's who Jay-Z is being replaced by.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, you did 2 verses this year, and if we're going to go with some good old dope boy MC with a big rollout rapping, we're going to go with Pusha T and Pusha T's rollout because, well, you know, he made an album and did more than 2 verses this year. So we're subbing Jay-Z out for Pusha T.
Let me stop you there, though.
You can let the smoker shine the Coop.
Let me stop you there, though. Let's be real, man.
Let them shine your
He
neck
got
and wrist too.
he got a Lyricist of the Year nomination off of 1 verse because obviously they didn't even factor in any of Pusha T's material. So I don't even think that the Pusha T song had anything to do with this.
It's very problematic, and I'm not going to do this on Nas's birthday. I'm just going to sub them out.
One verse.
Sub them out. I mean, there's nothing to really talk about. You did 2 verses this year. You're out.
Marquez Davis.
Like, how about this? That's like this. Okay, so check this out.
Mm-hmm.
You know you have to play X amount of games to like qualify for certain stats in the NBA, right?
Right.
So Kevin Durant technically was 3rd in the league in scoring at 29.9 points per game, literally a 10th off from LeBron for being 2nd, and was 3rd. It was literally by like 6 or 7 points. But because he literally was, I think, 1 game or 2 games short of qualifying, in the books it's going to show that he scored 29.9 points per game. But when the record showed the NBA scoring leaders for last season, it's not going to show Kevin Durant at 29.9 at 3rd right after. Who won the scoring title? Is LeBron and Giannis? Did Giannis win? Who won?
I think Giannis won.
Yeah, Giannis and then LeBron and then KD. And so, but it's not going to show KD. It's going to go to the person that qualified.
But Coop, he rapped for 4 minutes.
You have to qualify.
He rapped for 4 minutes, though, Coop.
That's not qualifying.
And it was a game-changing verse. And, MSNBC covered the verse, man, Marquez Davis with the Super Chat says, this is why Jay-Z has a lot of pushback. Like, damn, we know he's great. Why does everything he does get put all the way to the top? 1 verse does not put you on that list. This is why I be rocking with Nas heavy. I mean, listen. 1 verse, I don't care if it's 4 minutes, 5 minutes, or whatever. And honestly, man, let's keep it a buck. It's not the verse that they're saying it is. It's a good
playoff
verse.
Season. It's playoff season. Go Braves. Gonna do like the manager. We're gonna sub him out.
All right, so you're putting Pusha T in the place
Putting somebody out the bullpen.
What else you got? What else you got before I go on my rant?
Well, I figure we can go one by one before you get with your rant. First of all, are you cool with Benny being there?
Yeah, I'm cool with Benny being there.
Me too. I feel like he's having a great year and he kind of deserves that.
Yeah.
So Baby Keem.
Baby Keem has to go. He has to go. We heard reference tracks, man.
Can I interest you in Black Thought, maybe?
Okay.
See, now we're talking about lyricism. So Baby Keem, Baby Keem's never gonna make this list again.
Yeah.
And Black Thought has been inserted.
So basically, man, Kendrick's been nominated twice because Kendrick is Baby Keem.
That's very problematic. We're gonna get to Kendrick in a minute because I have a rant before you do.
Go ahead.
He won't be staying. Mike, what say you about Drake?
This is the thing about Drake. I don't think he should be on this list at all. He hadn't put out any rap material this year.
Mike, I'm about to surprise you. I'm about to hit you with some surprises.
You cool with Drake being on there?
No, I'm tired of these singing niggas getting voted as lyricists. Putting Talib Kweli in for his performance on No Fear of Time. I'm actually rocking with Kweli for once. Talib Kweli deserves to have Lyricist of the Year consideration because I think this.
But nobody heard the album.
Huh?
Nobody heard the album. That's what they're gonna say.
Jay-Z only has one verse. Anything goes. At least they made a goddamn album.
Right.
I would insert Talib instead of Drake. Okay, now you can go to Jack Harlow or I can go to Kendrick. Where you want to go?
Go to Jack Harlow first. Get that out the way, and then you can go on your Kendrick rant.
Jack Harlow. Well, J. Cole's there. J. Cole is staying, right? We're clear.
Yeah. J. Cole's staying. He put in the work.
Clear.
Yeah.
We're clear that J. Cole is staying?
Yeah. Jack Harlow, you got JID out there, you got Conway out there, and you also have Lupe out there.
No, we're going to get to Lupe in a second. Mm-hmm. I actually have a dark horse since they want to throw somebody in here kind of randomly to shake it up. I'm throwing Che Noir in there and taking Jack Harlow out.
Okay.
Since y'all want to shake it up, let's put a woman in there. How about that? You always want to pick a white boy and pin him in the black guys category. How about we pick a black woman and throw her up in the mix? Think she deserves that.
You're going to push me into my rant early. Go ahead.
Really problematic how they're behaving in these streets. Call them wet. White entertainment television. Wet. And then last but not least, I'm taking Kendrick out. And I'm putting Lupe in. I don't believe this. I have Lupe and Talib in. I'm taking Kendrick out and putting Lupe in. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Lupe album ain't some mid. And the reason that Kendrick gets held higher than Lupe has never been about lyrical ability. It's always been about his album making. Well, Lupe made a more palatable album. He made a superior album. He's a better lyricist. Period.
He is a better lyricist.
Conversation.
Yeah. He's a better lyricist. I've always said that.
Here's the thing. He's always even conceptually been right there with Kendrick. And you have to understand, style-wise, they're similar. I told you, one of the most poignant things I ever heard on record was when Kendrick's mom is talking at the end of Real, and she says, "We're from Chicago. You know we like to step." I'm like, well, now his voice makes sense. His rhyme pattern and his flow and all that stuff. Man, you're more tribal than you realize. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. You're right.
And so him and Lupe have a lot of similarities.
Yeah, no, you're right.
He's been the superior album maker, but not this year. And this is why, according to Hip Hop is Fair and Unbiased, because I'm actually replacing people with Lupe and Talib Kweli. Mike, you can have the floor and talk about Jack Harlow.
Let me go to this.
Let
me go to this super chat real quick. Born King says Jay-Z stans are the worst because they're either celebrities. They're either celebrities or media. This is true. His stands are in high places. Shout out to Angie Martinez. Lex Diesel with the super chat says Magic dropped after 2021's cutoff. Nas' 2022 Lyricist of the Year. Yeah, I guess, man. I was looking for that too. I was looking to see if there was anybody who dropped in like 2021 or at the end of it where Nas could be considered. But if they want to go by this rule, I get that. No, that wasn't a dig at Angie. We all know Angie and Jay are like that, and Angie says herself that Jay is her favorite rapper.
Mike, just say this. Just say it.
We all know that. CJ Kid with the super chat says, "Fake thug, no love. You get the slug. CB4 gusto. You luck though.
No.
Didn't know, so I was
drunk. I was drunk though. You freak niggas played that.
Yo, man, y'all missed a great show on our Patreon too on Monday, man. We were breaking down a lot of great records, but one of the things that I thought was awesome was when we were breaking down Jay-Z's "You Don't Know." Incredible record, and how he used his voice and when things came in, out, powerful stuff, man.
Okay,
And
so that's what I'm saying. So that's what I mean when he ascended to God MC level. And we won't talk about it too much, but he was doing things vocally on that record that classically trained artists are taught to do, like on their runs or on their riffs, they can catch stuff.
And you said something on that show that I thought was really, really important. You were like, on the Blueprint, he was like 98 Jordan. Or like 96 Jordan, I was thinking. But yeah, where he was able to kind of just control the game, and it wasn't about his super lyrical ability. It was about how he was utilizing his space and spacing. Right.
See, that's what I mean.
Like he jumping out the gym, Jordan is like reasonable doubt, Jay.
The guy in 96 had a point to prove. That's why it's not the same. And he was a little bit still more athletically inclined in 96. In 98, he was somebody different, but his numbers were the same. And that's what I mean. It's just like, oh no, that's not the guy that's rapping his ass off on Reasonable Doubt, but he's still getting 30 points a game because much like Mike had learned, like a lot of that 98 season, people forget, Mike had a lot of first and second quarters where Mike would have like 10 points at halftime. You know what I'm saying? Because he was kind of letting the game come into him and figuring out how it worked. And then the third quarter, Mike would just keep things steady. But then the fourth quarter come around, Mike would just go get 15 points. And he'd be like, hey, how might I get 30 points? Like, well, he scored 15 in the fourth quarter.
He scored 6
in the third quarter. He had 9 at halftime, but he scored 21 in the second half because he understood that he could go get 30 when he felt like it.
Mm-hmm. NR with the super chat says,
I feel like it.
NR says, have y'all done a list of the best producers / beat makers of this generation? How do you guys like Boy Wonder, what is it, Dahi, Hit Boy, compete all time? I think Hit Boy is really, really doing a lot of great work currently. I've always felt like Metro was the best producer of this era.
Are you done?
I was going to go to the super chats, but go ahead.
I agree with you on the Metro sentiment, but I will tell you that what Nas and Hit Boy are doing is truly special, and I think KD might be a moment, if it is a moment that's going to catapult Hit Boy above Metro in that conversation.
The album making is important, yes.
Album making is important, and also, too, let's hold that thought about Boy Wonder, because we're going to talk about Gibbs' new song, and Boy Wonder is apparently doing some contributions to Gibbs' new album. And so hold that Boy Wonder thought till we talk about Gibbs and Gibbs' new song with Moneybagg Yo.
Mad Max of the super chat says Pusha T, Cole, K-Dot, J.I.D., Lupe, if we're talking about mainstream, and Benny. I would have taken Megan before Harlow. I agree with that. 100%.
Megan has a whole album. I'm cool with that. It's just
Megan's album is better than Harlow's too. Megan's album is better than Harlow's.
See, this is what and maybe I'm just kind of like a dark horse kind of person, but it's like we have to encourage artists to be artists. And so when a Black woman makes an album that's actually worthy of being considered album of the year contention, I would like her to get some notoriety, some sort of attention that says, hey, you're doing great job, and people should like be fucking with your shit. And also like young ladies could be patronizing themselves after you and not just Megan.
Well, I mean, for artists, that means a lot, too. Like, I could tell, for artists, that means a lot. And I could tell that even with Janelle Monáe, right, the fact that Archandroid and even Electric Lady didn't get the attention that it should have gotten, it bothers her. You know what I'm saying?
No, she's like, fuck y'all, I'm going to go back.
And she got the most attention on the third album that was nowhere near as good as the first two. She knows that. That was the one that actually got nominated for Grammy Album of the Year. But she knows
and we were
that's
all
not
like,
the
that's
first two albums.
Late.
Yeah.
We were like, that's too late.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and you can never get those things back. You can never go back and say, you know, because Outkast put out Love Below, we're going to nominate you for Album of the Year because we missed out on Aquemini. Like, it doesn't work like that. You miss it, you miss it. You can't go back and reward somebody for an album they made 4 years ago. LP with the super chat says, the true list is Lupe, Thought, Ransom, Nas, Cole, Pusha, and Benny. They all dropped great project, great verses, and enough material to justify it. You know,
Nas
Cole's
album
features
dropped
are the
last year.
only ones, huh?
Nas album dropped last year.
Yeah. Man there with a super chat says the Barlow agenda is ridiculous and problematic. Can I get to that? Can I get to the Harlow thing?
No, Mike, I've had it. Please do.
Well, I think Lyricist of the Year is a very strange
Yes, 4 minutes.
category for somebody who has no bars.
Here we go.
It is. I mean, the only song that they're playing of his is a Fergie sample that no one asked to be played. It gets played over and over and over. Where are the other records? Where are the records that are actually displaying his lyricism? And you know what?
I thought that was rhetorical. You didn't want me to answer. You wanted to talk. Go ahead.
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if he actually wins this. And I know y'all saying whatever. You know, there's two things that I think could happen. I think this is either set up for Kendrick to just win because Kendrick got 10 nominations at this show. So maybe they're just going to give Kendrick a clean sweep or whatever. But Kendrick may not come to the show. And we know Harlow's going to be there front and center. And Harlow already told you in this Rolling Stone article, I'm not Macklemore. I'm not going to apologize when I win these awards. Did he not say that? He specifically pointed out.
He did say that.
He specifically pointed out the situation when Macklemore texts Kendrick that he should have won the award for Good Kid, Mad City at the Grammys over, Macklemore's album. Harlow said, "I'm not doing that." And if, with BET's current history and trying to shake shit up with Fat Joe hosting the show with all this stuff going on, I wouldn't be surprised if BET just goes out there and gives Jack Harlow Lyricist of the Year just to be a troll. Because these nominees are trolly anyway. You already got one guy who doesn't write his raps, who then got some, reference tracks on him. You got another legend who's only spit one verse that you guys have talked about the whole year. And then you got this other guy who has no bars and has a hit song on the radio that, quite frankly, you guys made a hit. Not even you guys as in BET, but the industry made a hit. Nobody's going to the club wanting to hear whatever that song's called. I forget. Fast Lane or the Fergie joint. Nobody wants to hear that. CJ Kidd with the super chat says, how long should it take for an artist to complete a song if a producer gives you a beat? I would say a day, man. You know what I'm saying? Spend some time on it. Anybody could run through it in half a day, but it depends on your level of experience. I think for a brand new artist, though, spend a day on a record, something should come out. EP with the super chat says, LP, with the super chat says, the last year's stuff doesn't matter because it's not a calendar year. It's a year over a year. By that standard, nothing that dropped in October/December can ever win. I see what he's saying. So it has to be a whole calendar year from the actual award show. In that case, Magic's in there. L Bug with the super chat says, love the Monday Patreon show. Super dope to catch it live. I really enjoyed the music, especially the Black Star album that was played in the previous show. I'm still waiting on Coop, waiting for Coop to snap. LOL. Yes, appreciate you joining the Patreon. And yeah, for the people who ain't on the Patreon yet, it's linked up to the top. You got to join those conversations because we actually bring people in so they can debate Coop live.
And we play music. That's the best part is that we can get straight to the point of we can. You know what playing music live does? It gets you out of your feelings and into the facts about what's going on and what you're really hearing.
When we were playing that Tribe stuff, did I change any of your mind and anything? Those records are heavy, man.
It hits different. That's what I was like. Play Award Tour. Play Check the Rhyme.
Those records are heavy,
play that stuff. It hit different. It's exciting.
Listen, man. Outkast couldn't beat them in the Verzuz. I'm just going to be real. And I love Outkast.
No, they can. It's the songs, Mike. It's the songs.
Their songs have aged so well. I don't think there's anybody whose songs have aged better than Tribe songs. And that's including Public Enemy, NWA, Dre, even because for the content, sonically, Dr. Dre's stuff has aged incredibly, but content-wise, not so much. You know what I mean?
Well, content. Let's not even get into that. Here, let's kind of keep it to the Tribe thing. Like, I think it's because their sound has resonated in different variations and forms of hip hop and R&B since their departure as well. They're looked at as the centerpieces probably for a sound that different people pick up and took on. That might be QTip's biggest contribution, is not just the contribution of the music, it's the fact that Will Dilla picked it up. And Questlove and Thought picked it up.
Yeah.
And D'Angelo and Jill Scott and Erykah Badu picked it up.
They got a lot of kids out here. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Q-Tip got a lot of kids out here. And how about this? His most famous kids ain't on no rap shit. And so that's what makes it kind of special to me. But if we're just going to the songs, I've always told you, it's like, no, Outkast can beat Tribe, but you have to play the right Outkast song, which means you have to know their catalog in and out. Like, people don't understand this. Like, a record like Everlasting and Benz or Beamer not being played, and you're going to lose to Tribe. Like, you have to play both of those records.
That's where the divide is. Tribe's biggest records are some of their best records.
Right.
Outkast's biggest records are not their best records.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But Everlasting, because of the sound and the beat, well, that pairs better to beat some of Tribe's stuff than maybe a
What Tribe song you think that could be? Like, as far as a single or something, like.
No, maybe not a single, but that's what I mean. Like, on that album level, that's that album stuff. Because I mean, Tribe ain't gonna win. First of all, Tribe's not winning all of those singles.
I don't think Everlasting.
They're not gonna win all of them.
Everlasting, as much as I love that record, it doesn't beat Lyrics to Go. No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
I get what you're saying, Mike, but I don't agree. No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I personally don't agree.
The rapping is better on Everlasting.
That might be biased. That might be Southern bias.
Look, the rapping is better on Everlasting. I think where you're leaning towards is who's the
rapping
better rapping group.
Like how about this? You think In Due Time is better than Lyrics to Go?
Now that one's close. I think,
right.
I don't know. I think In Due Time might be better than Lyrics to Go.
See what I mean about how you have to pick the Outkast stuff and know what you're picking?
Yeah.
It's like, no. Like, what I'm trying to say is that, like, how about this? If you know Outkast and know their catalog, it's like, well, it's arguable that Benz or Beamer, Everlasting, and In Due Time could be in their top 20-ish songs, which means it needs to be in the conversation. You can't just look at their albums.
Yeah,
you really got to go find their best stuff.
CJ Kid with a super chat says, I also wanted Coop's opinion on that same question. How long should it take for an artist to put together a track once, producer gives them a track?
Yeah, I feel like if you're the whole track.
Yeah. If you're doing a solo song and the producer gives you a track, how long should it take for them to be able to have a track back from you?
Like recorded? Like written and recorded?
Written and recorded.
Yeah, Mike is right. If time permits, you actually need to be coming to the studio ready with your rhymes to record in that 4-hour gap. If you do not, you need to be at home working, rehearsing, reciting so that you can come back and nail it the next day.
Yeah.
So I would literally say a day turnaround. It's like when I did my joint on American Beauty, the So Raw joint, 6 hit me with the beat at night at like 7 o'clock. And I listened to it in the studio. And I started writing, and I got really excited, but I knew I had other shit to do. And so I went home, and I had stuff to do, so I didn't get to it the next day. But after this is when Asaya was a baby. I had to get Asaya situated in the daycare. And after I got her situated in the daycare, I came back, put the headphones on. I'm pacing up and down the hallway at like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. By 1 o'clock, I'm hitting 6 up, like, I'm ready, let's go. He gets off at 5. I'm in the studio at 6. He gave me the beat yesterday at 7. We going live at 7 and recording the song. Yeah. You got a day. Like, you got to make the shit move. Because also, too, you have to understand, you shouldn't be picking up any track that you don't feel enough that it's making you move in that manner. Exactly.
Now, that's the number one point. Yeah, if you got a track that you're feeling to that point, you're going to want to write to it. And you're going to want to get it done. And But the other curve of it is also, it's like, how used to you are being, how I'm sorry, I can't even speak right now. How acquainted with the studio are you? You know what I mean? Like if you're new to the studio, you might take that whole 4 hour block to record that one song. But
Yeah.
if you've actually gotten comfortable with the studio, you know what you're doing, you know how you're recording, you know when, just you got a whole relationship with the engineer and how y'all work, you can knock that stuff out in an hour. You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna tell, but see that depends on how you work. Because I'm gonna tell you how Six worked that I thought was ahead of his time. Six made us lay down full vocals 2 times, full vocals. So you couldn't just run your shit down 1 time in 1 take. You had to run your shit down 2 times in 1 take, and then we had to do an ad lib, and then we had to do like a punch stack. So you had to do 4 runs to finish the track. And so to do all of those 4 runs professionally on a whole song might take you 2 hours when you're professional.
Yeah.
When you're not professional, you coming back and finish. Like, that's what I mean when you're talking about professionally doing stuff.
Right.
But that depends on how you doing and how you running it. Some engineers, it's like, well, they'll take 1 take, 1 ad lib from you, and they'll take 1 skeleton take and be like, no, you're good, and they'll piece your shit together. Six was like, no, I want 2 whole takes.
That's the best way to do it, though. You know what I mean? To make sure you get that practice in. That way you do get better. LP with the super chat says, yeah, because the show is in September. So if they only go by the calendar year, then they're missing everything from September to December. So, if it drops from January to September, be nominated. That makes sense. Because it's like if you're cutting off that year.
I get what he's saying.
Yeah, so if you're cutting out that year, then anything from September to December just doesn't matter. So I guess Nas should be nominated then. Born King says, man, Cass will wash A Tribe Called Quest. They're more versatile. I don't know, man. The versatility has nothing to do with how them songs hit, though.
The versatility has. How about this? I'm gonna tell you where Outkast is actually gonna win, which is funny because we're talking about a Southern group versus a New York group. They're gonna rent on some rap shit, and so that's what I mean. Like in due time. Oh, those guys lyrically are somewhere. On Benz or Beamer, lyrically they're somewhere. So you actually because if we're just gonna go hit for hit, banger for banger. It's like they're not going to win. But if you get into their specialty over Tribe, which is actually the creative nuance and the lyrical side of it, you're going to win. But you have to pick certain stuff. I'm going to tell you something that I think would be like a sneaky pick. Something like West Savannah. That's what I'm saying.
I think West Savannah would be necessary, definitely.
Right. It's like, how about this? Rosa Parks do you think Rosa Parks beating one of Tribe's hits?
No.
Right. I don't either.
This is the thing, man. I think Cass's versatility would actually be a detriment to them against Tribe. I don't think you need to get too cute with them, man. You need to go out there and, like you said, go with the bars. Go with
over the woods, Mike. That's what I'm saying. You got to know Outkast catalog.
You got to stay away from that Stankonia stuff.
Right.
Even Bombs Over Bad Dad. As much as I love that record, against Tribe, you might want to stay away from that record.
No. Bombs Over Baghdad can win. It can take something like Find a Way Out or something like No, I Was Wrong. That's it. No. It's not. Because even with Tribe's first album, Mike, I'll be the first to tell you, the highlight of Tribe's first album is the hits.
I mean, Bonita, what does Cass got for that?
Right. I Left My Wallet in El Segundo.
I mean, I'll give them El Segundo, if you want to play Bonds Over Bad Dad, yeah. I mean, Bonds Over Bad Dad wins that. But does it win over a song like Can I Kick It, though? And see, that's the thing. Like, sonically, and as a hip-hop nerd and fan, obviously, on a structural level, Bombs Over Bad Dad's the better song to me. But does Bombs Over Bad Dad mean more than Can I Kick It? Or does it play better than Can I Kick It to an audience if you're playing them side by side? I don't think so.
I think Can I Kick It fits more into our comfortable realm of what we know. Yeah. And that's what you mean about the creative stuff not kicking. Because Can I Kick It? How about this? Can I Kick It is something that you can play before somebody like a Nas or KRS-One were to get on the mic, but you would play it before Chuck D or Ice Cube would get on the mic. It kind of fits everywhere in every space. Bombs Over Baghdad doesn't necessarily fit over everywhere.
You could get the crowd involved with Can I Kick It. You can't get the crowd involved.
I feel like, how about this? This is what I'm saying. Like, if you play Can I Kick It, I would play like Elevators. That's one of the singles I play. It's like, you're playing that single, give me Elevators.
Again, man, you're giving me some high spades for shit that ain't even really high spades for me.
No,
That's the problem.
You're gonna lose. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna lose like a Ward Tour and Electric Relaxation and Scenario and Check the Rhyme. Like you're gonna lose those.
To who?
To Cass. Cass is losing those. That's what
Cass
I'm saying.
is losing those. I thought you were saying Tribe was losing. Okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. Cass is losing those. That's why you don't play elevators against those because you don't want to lose elevators. Like you gotta pick. That's what I mean. You have to pick it funny if you were an Outkast fan because you can't just pick their single stuff. It's like you understand, like Crumble and Urban, who might get played and Players Ball might not get played.
I think that the Southern Playalistic stuff will really help them in this matchup.
Ain't No Thing might get played. You feel what I'm saying?
And that's why you said West Savannah too, because I mean that's from the Southern Playalistic session.
That's what I mean. Like, but it's the stuff that's getting played. It's like, no, you might hear Crumbling Herb or
even Spaghetti Junction.
You hear Players Ball.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You have to know the catalog.
Yeah. Uncle Fran with the super chat said, yes, guys, the Patreon show has been pretty exciting. Pun intended. Yes, definitely go up to the top, and I mean not even the top, it's right there in the chat. Hit that link. Y'all need to join the Patreon family, man, so we can chop it up and play music and go back and forth. Blue Collar Hustle says.
You want to know what?
Go ahead.
Mike, we're going to have to do this Outkast Tribe thing again.
We need to do it on Patreon and do it with the music, yeah.
On the Patreon with the music.
We'll dedicate the whole show to it. You know, you have your list, I'll have my list, and how about you play music on your end, I'll play music on my end. We'll make sure that the sound and all that stuff is right.
No, that's perfect because I'm running the Patreon off my phone now, so I can play it on the iPad, and the sound on the iPad is like great.
Okay, cool. Blue Collar Hustle with a super chat says, "What do you guys think about the TV show Atlanta? The final season premieres tomorrow. Was wondering if either of you are fans. I'm a huge fan of that show. Not to get super wordy, but I've been following Donald Glover since he was on Community. So when he was on Community, loved that show. And then he jumped off and did his rap thing. I was like, you know what? I'm going to support Troy. Troy was his character on the show. And then he goes off and does Atlanta. And I'm like, yeah, I know this show is going to be great because I know how great Community was. This guy, has a knack for television and writing. And I'm looking forward to it. I hate it's going to be the final season, but I think that all the characters or the actors, the cast rather, doing so many things, it's just inevitable. It's surprising that they can even come back together for this. You watched the show?
I was going to tell you that I didn't watch the show until a friend of mine who I worked with actually became an actor on the Robin season edition.
Okay.
And about supporting him and his cause, I got familiar with the show and then actually come to actually enjoy it. I'm not a big TV watcher, Mike, outside of, I'm not even going to lie. I watch the news, I watch sports, and then I watch nature. And that's pretty much it outside of me finding little stuff that I like. When you get me on something, I'm on something until it's done. And so they got me on Atlanta after Robin season because I was supporting a homie.
Did you watch season 1? I know Robin season was season 2.
It was. I still haven't gone back and seen season 1.
Oh, you got to see season 1. One of the things that I really love about the show is the authenticity. You could tell, the stuff that they're saying and the characters that they have in the show, the extras, it's so Atlanta. Even down to the parking attendant and how it is when you try to park and you got somebody that's flagging you down. They don't have the spaces for real. And they man, I'm going to watch your car and all that stuff. That's real. You know what I mean? When I see some of those scenarios in the show.
Mike, how many times?
I'm like, whoever's putting this together really knows the city and they know it well. Even the FUBU episode where they had the kid coming around checking the tag and niggas was joning and shit, it's very authentic. And a lot of times when you get, especially in Atlanta or any other city, and a lot of people who are in big cities know this, when you get a nationally televised show that's depicting your city, it gets really watered down and really, not authentic. This one is very authentic, and I think that's why I stuck with that show from jump.
Oh, you like it? It's true to the A?
Oh, it's very true to the A. I think they get real life Atlanta extras for real. Even when niggas be on the MARTA bus.
They give you a lot of real life Atlanta for better or for worse. And a lot of the stuff that I've seen, it's like, oh, I know where that is.
Right. It ain't even just the location. It's just the people. When he was riding on the MARTA bus, the things you see on a MARTA bus, things you would have to just experience by being here.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
See, like, so the MARTA bus stuff, it always gives me flashbacks. I grew up on the MARTA. I'm from Piedmont Road originally, like downtown Piedmont Road. Like, yeah, by Piedmont Park. Like, me and my mom grew up on the MARTA bus. Like, I can remember, how about this? I can actually remember when the rail was 50 cents and got hiked to 75 cents and people were tripping.
Going crazy.
You had to pay 75 cents instead of 50 cents to get on the MARTA. How much MARTA costs now? Like $5 to get on?
I don't know.
That's how long I've been on MARTA, right?
CJ Kid with the super chat says, thank you guys. Now I know I have to push myself way beyond what I am now. But that's what's up. You got this. Just stay at it.
Go hard.
Keep writing your raps. CJ the Kid also says Spodiote Doublelicious versus Bonita Applebum, both conversational songs.
See, that's what I mean. See, I'm not playing Spodiote Doublelicious versus Bonita Applebum because I'm not gonna win.
I was gonna say, I love Spodiote, and I think it's an excellent record and inventive record. You don't want to play that one up against Bonita. You're gonna lose that one.
No, that's probably. I mean, after Award Tour and Electric Relaxation, don't you think that's their biggest song? And maybe the one with the most replay value.
I think so. I think
it's a top 3 Tribe single.
It's one of the best hip hop songs ever, in my opinion. Eric Terrell with the super chat says, "Why is Ali Muhammad never mentioned with the production? Because he did good work with Lucy Pearl. I thought him and QTip co-produced." See, this is the thing, Eric, with Ali, because I always grew up just kind of giving Ali the credit for production. It feels like, look, when we saw, I don't know if y'all saw the documentary, the Tribe documentary, we actually saw QTip go in there and pull out the records that he pulled for these records, for these songs that he produced, and where he went to in the song, how he got there. We never hear that with Ali. Now, as far as the Lucy Pearl thing, you do know that, Raphael Sadiq's a pretty great producer too. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem with Ali Shahid. We don't know what he can do by himself. We know what QTip can do by himself. We've seen it. We've seen QTip go into other situations and still be QTip. He doesn't have to hide behind another great producer. And I say that respectfully to answer your question. Yeah, it's like when, and this is going to sound like a slight too. I don't know if you remember when Jermaine Dupri and Dallas Austin got on the live. And they were kind of doing like a Verzuz in their way, but they were kind of just doing some storytelling on some, records that they produced and they made. They didn't play the records. Well, that's a whole nother story. But they actually were talking about where they were when they put these records together, how they came together. Dallas Austin, you could tell he works alone. He's a one-man show. His stories were very intricate, very detailed, and Jermaine's stories were kind of like, okay, well, me and such got together, did this, I called my guy for this, whatever. It was a collective thing, which is fine, but it hit kind of different when it was coming from Dallas because it was personal. Like even when he told the story about how Creep came together, he was messing with this girl, he was cheating on her or whatever, she was living with him, and he wasn't paying her the attention that she needed, and she went out and cheated on him. You know what I mean? Things like that. And he was way more detailed with it, but long story short, we feel that when it comes to QTip, we don't know what Ali does. We just know that he stands next to other great producers that have stood on their own.
Thought he was the DJ.
That's what I thought too.
Okay.
Yeah. Non-Plus with the super chat says, forget the whole Verzuz format. Who has better songs?
Outkast.
I think Tribe does, man.
No. Well,
because what puts it over the edge? The remixes,
no.
man.
Let's legitimately look at this. No. We have 120 minutes on Patreon to make stuff happen. Mm-hmm. You want to do, what are we doing? What are we doing?
We could do 20. And I guess we got to break down. We get a minute each or something.
That's cool.
I'll do the math. Yeah.
No. That's cool. Hold on. Because if we're getting a minute apiece, I'm cool with that. But here's what I'm going to submit to you. You need to be submitting your best minute. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. You can skip in if you want to, yeah, whatever.
Right. So we're gonna have to find the points in the songs that we want to play stuff to like really make that work. But I'm down with that. I'm assuming you're taking Tribe.
I'm taking Tribe. This is
This
what
is
I
so
will
funny.
say about Cass. I think that Cass had a better run, 4-album run. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to talk about consecutively. But I feel like overall and over time, and then you include the remixes and all that, I got Tribe, man. But Cass are better rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no, that's fine. 20 songs.
Yeah. 20.
You're giving me Outkast.
No, you're taking Outkast. You said they better.
I'm in a lot of trouble.
DJ Tim Space King with the super chat says, "Shout out to Nas. Happy birthday, man. You teach me a life. You taught me life lessons in your rhymes and everything that you're putting in with your work, King. If you was not being around hip hop, we would be dead. Cause you teach me a life lesson. Yeah, Nas, it's for the kids."
Shout out to the GOAT.
LP with the super chat says, "If y'all ain't check out Rum Nitty yet, then let's watch that ish on Patreon." Okay. Promise
Rum
y'all, he's the best punchline rapper probably ever. Okay.
Rum Nitty.
Yep, we
Right,
can do that on
right
Patreon. Nas the GOAT with the super chat says, "You guys hurt my feelings, LOL, by doing the Patreon live show around 12 noon. Unfortunately, I'm working around that time and can't join the lives. What times are good for you?" Born King with the super chat says, what Tribe got for So Fresh So Clean? Skew it on the Bobby or Get Up, Get Out? I got a lot for that.
I got a lot.
Blue Collar Hustle says, "Speaking of documentaries, would love for you guys to check out that Wu-Tang documentary on Showtime, especially Coop, as I know he has some issues with RZA. Would love to know if your feelings have changed. Is that a new documentary or is that the same one?"
You know, I have thought about this. I've thought about the fact that he had to deal with all the attitudes, the egos, and the nuances. I'm just a code guy. It's like the guys you come up with. Jay-Z said it best. If every clip, what'd he say on
He's talking about if every nigga in your clique is rich, your clique is rugged. Nobody will fall because everyone will be each other's crutches.
I hope you fools choose to listen. I drop jewels busting.
I think RZA took a lot of guys very far. I think my only thing from what I saw in the documentary, I don't like how he just allowed his brother to just solely be thrown under the bus. And I don't like how even with that $1 million album, how he acts like, yeah, that's that guy over there. I'm not involved. You had something to do with that too. Like, you did. He was promoting it and everything.
Well, it's like, okay, like here's what I'm saying. Like, tell the guys what to do in the studio and not out the studio if they're not signed to your label.
And I think that whole thing that you got talks about where they're not able to use the logo on their own, I think that's weird.
Okay, so that's not problematic for you?
Very. Because they're the group.
So when people are saying like I have issue, it's like, well, shit, look at what did you hear and see the things that I heard?
That's like if Andre or Big Boy's not able to use the Outkast logo.
Right.
Or that's a member of Tribe not being able to use the Tribe logo. Like
it's a problem. That's what I'm saying. So, where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm going to stand over here and say that it's not right. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying it's not right because it's not. Like, people have such a problem these days with you calling people out for their bullshit. It's like, no, like have some accountability. It's just like, no, that's not how you do your right-hand man that you came up with, grew up with, period, point blank. And when you call people out on it, people are like, you're a hater. It's like, no, I'm just intelligent and I see the bullshit and he's not above and beyond reproach because he's another human being and the shit's not right. How about that?
The bottom line is those guys are the group. You know what I mean? Like, collectively, I would go through all 9 members, but you know what I mean? They make Wu-Tang. Like, regardless of whose favorite member is this member, that member, or whatever, without Master Killer, I mean, he makes the group. He signed as a Wu-Tang Clan artist, right? So if you put your name on the dotted line as a part of this group, you should be able to use that group's logo. In my
Think
my
about
thinking.
this. How much money has it cost the smaller artists on the back end who haven't had Ray, Ghost, and Meth like careers
Yeah,
to be able to put that logo up on a banner, or on a flyer,
exactly.
or on something digitized, or on a show to make them money? Because here's the reality
They
of the
did
matter.
the work.
If you have to call him to use the logo, guess what you probably have to do too?
Yeah,
Pay him to use the logo.
exactly.
And that's not right, and
That's
that's
not right.
not fair. And so stop making it seem like I'm the one with the problem.
Every member of the Wu-Tang Clan, all 9 members, if you want to say Capadonna, no, but I think he should, but maybe that's just me being a Capadonna fan. But all members of the Wu-Tang Clan who made Wu-Tang what it is, and that's all of them, they should be able to use that logo for whatever benefit they need to use it for, in my opinion.
Period. It's not even that complicated though, Mike. It don't have to be that complicated.
I don't feel like it is for other groups like that. But see, I think that when you have a leader in a rap group, it gets problematic. I mean, we've seen that even with incredible groups that we love, like Public Enemy. It gets problematic when you have a de facto leader, you know? CJ Kid with the super chat, he says, if Tribe versus Cass is good, would De La versus Goody Mob be interesting? Goody Mob doesn't have enough for De La, and I love Goody Mob. They just don't have enough material for De La.
Okay. So, Mike, I was thinking about some rules and how to format this, because I kind of feel like, we usually pre-select our list. And this is just one of those nuanced battles where I'm not sure how fair that is. So it's like, do you want to go first for 10? I was thinking we could go 5 and 5, where it's like you have the pick, like you have to go first for 5, and then I get to respond with 5. And then we flip it, and I pick, and you have to respond. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Are you cool with that?
No, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, because I really want to do it about these two groups and do it right. And I know when we randomly pick songs, we end up with a lot of good battles, but we also end up with a lot of washes where it's like, oh, well, that's just blowing that out the water. And I
I don't want to preset it. I mean, we can kind of feel the rhythm, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
This is what I'm saying when I don't want to preset it. I'm saying is like, you're going to go first for 5 times, and I get to respond with whatever song that I want. And then I got to go for the next 5 first, and you respond however you want. And then it goes back to 5, and then 5.
Okay, we can do that. I'm cool
with
that.
To make it more fair. So it's like if you drop Award Tour in one of your first 5, I got to think about what song I'm going to drop up out of my catalog. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But here's my caveat. We have to submit each other a 30-song list. And so you can't go out of the 30-song list.
You got to pick through that. Okay. That's cool. You just don't know.
So you got 30 songs. I got 30 songs. We're going to play 20, and we're going to see each other's 30 songs beforehand so that we know, oh, he's playing one of these 30 songs. I just don't know where he's playing them.
Gotcha. I like it.
LP
with the super chat says, Tip got production credit on 3 out of the 5 albums, and all time Illmatic, Low End Theory, and The Infamous. His ish is solidified. Ali, not so much.
I agree.
I mean, yeah. Did Ali make One Love?
Hold on. Like when you told me about like the whole Mobb Deep thing, because I knew QTip co-produced some stuff. I didn't realize how integral he was for it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, go listen to Give Up the Goods and go listen to One Love and tell me that doesn't sound like the Low End Theory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just does.
He's the guy, man. Born King with the super chat says, Cast are better lyricists. It's true.
We know that.
We know that. And we got Esquire, who is the 2-time champ. We got trivia coming
going
again
down
tomorrow.
As soon as I can get in. As soon as I can
he
get in.
He said, Tribe has the nostalgia factor in their favor, but Cass has a large volume of hits and classic records that transcend generations. How well do they play live, though? Don't know.
About to find out.
Christopher Hogan with a super chat says, I got Cass. South got something to say. I love Cass, man. Blue Collar Hustle says, RZA provided receipts. They can use the logo. Okay. Good. Well, they should be able to. I don't know what you guys was talking about then. Eric Terrell says, on Verzuz, Cass can play Thought Process and Soul Food. So that's 2 points. What Tribe got for Hey Y'all and Valentine's Day? Are you serious? Do you really want to play Hey Y'all? Do you let's be real. Do you really want to put Hey Y'all up against Vibrant Thing?
Hell no. You want to know what, Mike? It's crazy that you're bringing up Vibrant Thing, because you want to know what I like about Vibrant Thing? QTip still understood who he was. Listen to what he said. A rapping nigga for real. You would catch me in the cypher if I didn't cop a deal.
I love that bar.
Love that bar. I was thinking about that bar when I was getting out the car to come do this show.
Yeah, I said that bar to myself a million times.
Hold on, I sell, you make, we split, big cake.
Yeah. CJ Kid says, even include solos and features, Goody don't have enough. I mean, if you include CeeLo's career, you have to. Born King with the super chat says, RZA really messed up with the auction off of the what is it, the souveniring album? Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't a good look. I mean, I see the concept and what they were trying to do, but it didn't play out well. You didn't think about if the evil villain was to buy it, you know? Because the thing about music, and I think that we even talked about this in the whole Black Star breakdown, it's to be shared with the fans. And you prohibited that process by selling one album to one fan. You know?
Why?
Yeah, CJ Kid with a super chat. It comes across as greedy. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you do that, it's not about the fans who push you
this
to
is what I'm
this
saying.
point.
So where there's smoke, there's fire, Mike. If you look at a lot of the moves prior to that, it's like, well, there's some buildup to that move happening, because I'm going to tell you, like Prodigy said on An Eye for an Eye, off the same infamous album that we're quoting, keep letting them small things slide, it'll be a failure.
Yeah.
Right.
CJ Kid says, Ghost, All I Got Is You versus Scarface, Now I Feel You. Similar songs. I'm going All I Got Is You, but not by a whole lot. I mean, both great songs.
I don't know. I may have Now I Feel You on that, to be honest with you.
It's a great record. I want to finish up this Lyricists of the Year thing, too. I don't have a problem with Kendrick being on there. I don't.
Neither do I, but I do if Lupe's not on there. That's what I'm saying. Well, no, Lupe and Thought should be on there ahead of Kendrick because their albums are better.
You know, Jay-Z shouldn't be on here.
It's easy. It was easy. That wasn't hard.
Honestly,
we didn't have to think about that.
I think LP made a great case for the fact that Nas should be on here, because anything that came out from September to this following September should be considered, and Magic was in December, so I would have to put Nas in that place.
I'm cool with that too. If you want to put Nas in somebody's place, I mean, we're not going to argue, especially on his birthday. Especially if, like, technically he should be, like, up for the honor.
And yeah, we're about to talk about Nas Magic too. Yeah, we're going to have a whole Nas conversation. I know we're an hour and a half in, but yeah, Baby Keem, man, I think once you find, like, you could be an artist or be nominated for Artist of the Year or whatever, but Lyricist of the Year and somebody's writing your raps, that can't happen. He's disqualified. I'm sorry, and I think a lot of people are zeroing in on Jack Harlow for obvious reasons, as we should, because Jack Harlow's being force-fed to the masses of hip hop, and it's clearly an industry initiative. But this Baby Keem thing and Pusha T not being on here, like, again, who did Pusha T piss off? I mean, you got somebody, you got Drake. Maybe Drake told him that, if Pusha T's on there, I'm not coming to your show. I don't know.
Right.
Does Drake even have some rap verses this year? I mean, he has Jimmy Cooks.
The Jack Harlow.
Oh, on the Jack Harlow song. Okay, they're giving people Lyricists of the Year nominations for just 1 or 2 verses, huh?
Pretty much. They're pretty much saying we don't do our work anymore.
Oh, yeah. So people who put out actual albums aren't considered.
What do you do?
This also shows me that the mainstream is shrinking. I mean, it's been shrinking for years, but it's totally shrunk. How many of these people actually have an album? Because Baby Keem's album technically came out last year. I don't remember exactly when it came out, but we'll keep him on there. But again, Nas got to be considered. The only people who've had actual albums in 2021 is Benny, Kendrick, and Jack.
Mm-hmm. I don't think 2 of them should be there. So
half of this list doesn't even have an album.
Yeah.
It just shows you how the mainstream is shrunk, and they're not going to.
Cole deserves to be there.
He does deserve to be there, but he's not. I don't think he's there because he deserves to be there, though. I think he's there because they don't want to give a Lupe, a Black Star, a Black Thought, or somebody who's not in the system that type of notoriety.
Because it's wet, Mike.
It's
white
crazy,
entertainment
man.
television. It's wet.
It's crazy, man. The Grammys have done better with their hip hop nominations than the BET Hip Hop Awards.
They
Not
nominated
even just the BET
Alfredo and
Awards.
King's Disease in the same year.
Yeah,
Yeah. They got a better pulse than Wet does.
that's crazy.
TV.
CJ Kid with the super chat says, "Who wins, Scarface or Ghostface in the Verzuz?" I'm going Ghost because Wu-Tang is forever, man.
Mike, I think you just picked another fight with me.
Oh, you want to go Scarface? Yeah, I'll definitely say Ghost.
I think the catalogs are comparable. I think I have the more in-depth songs.
I could see that. Can
But
I play Wu-Tang
but
stuff?
I stand their catalogs. How about this? I mean, Mike, on my all-time list, it literally goes Scarface 5, Ghostface 6. Let's go.
I'm with that.